Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to the April edition of Dad X Discussions. My name is Matt Strain, and I'm here with the National At Home Dad Network. We welcome you guys as we do every month. This month, we got an interesting guest on. We had a person reach out to the network, a gentleman named Jack Good, who represents a company called FightCamp, which is something really new and different out there. I know after 11 years of being a stay-at-home dad, especially in the early years, it was really, really difficult to find a way to incorporate staying fit into my day-to-day life. Usually, between staying up late with the baby, getting woken up in the middle of the night, plus the random feedings and all of the other things that we have to take care of, it becomes harder and harder to find the time to keep ourselves in shape. I know that when I started my journey as a dad, I weighed in probably at around 180 pounds. By the time my first child was 2.5, I had swollen up to about 255 pounds at 5'6". It took me years and a whole lot of work to get myself back down to a relatively healthy weight. And since then, I've been doing a relatively good job maintaining. I wish that an operation like Fight Camp had been around back then because it would have made this so much easier. So without further ado, I'm going to bring Jack onto stage and let him talk to us a little bit about where Fight Camp comes from and where they're going.
Awesome.
Welcome aboard, Jack.
Hey, what's up, Matt? How are you?
Doing good, doing good.
Awesome. Well, first and foremost, man, I appreciate you and I appreciate your organization. I think what you guys do is awesome, and we're beyond excited to partner with you guys. And yeah, we have a cool offer for your members here at Fight Camp, so we're pumped about it, and can't think of a better organization to team up with.
Well, thank you for that. Now, let's start with the basics. Fight Camp, what is it and where did it come from?
Yeah, that's a great question. So what Fight Camp is when we started it, we had the idea of becoming the training service for, professional athletes and professional boxers, kickboxers, and mixed martial artists. So when we first launched it, we started with our tracker technology, which monitors your punch count, your punch rate, and your total output. So professional boxers, professional kickboxers, and MMA fighters would use it in a training capacity to monitor their workout metrics to see, where they can improve. So when we started it, we started working with the United States National Olympic Boxing Team, the Canadian National Boxing Team, and some of the top athletes and fighters in the world. And as we were kind of building it out, we were thinking, hey, we could definitely, help everyday people with obviously their physical fitness and their mental health as well. So that's kind of where we started with the idea for Fight Camp, and we ended up building out the Fight Camp app as well. And on the app, we have 3,000 different workouts. So it's boxing, kickboxing, Muay Thai, strength and conditioning, recovery, nutrition. So it's a full lifestyle app. The workouts range from 5 minutes to an hour, beginner through advanced. So no matter if you're one of those professional athletes or you have no experience whatsoever, we have workouts and content for you. So that's kind of where we started it. And then now we are actually the biggest at-home boxing, kickboxing platform in the world. So we're well known in the US, and we're compared to be like the Peloton of boxing is what we get named all the time.
Okay. So for those who aren't familiar, and full disclosure, Fight Camp was kind enough to send me a package so that I could play around with this and get an idea of what it's all about myself, which will help in our conversation. But for those who don't know, how does it work? Obviously we start off with your little panel here and the sensors.
Yep. And those sensors go right into these quick wraps, which we're offering for your organization as well. So we're giving the trackers, the quick wraps, and then a trial period on the membership subscription. So you have full access to the Fight Camp app. Those trackers slide into the quick wraps. There's a little pocket that holds them into place. You double tap them. You open up the Fight Camp app. We're going to give you some recommended workouts, but you pretty much get to choose any workout from the library and go. And then the cool thing about those trackers is they monitor your metrics in real time. So you'll see your stats on the screen. We're giving you round by round goals you're trying to hit. Everything saves your own individual profile. And you can also challenge and compete with anybody in your household or anybody on the FightCamp leaderboard too. So if multiple people in the household want to work out together, you can do that. If you want to go against each other, compete with one another, you can totally do that. And then you get to see your progression and growth because everything saves to your profile. So you can do like a workout day 1 and then do the same workout 90 days later and see, and even compete against yourself and see the progression there too. So our whole goal was to gamify fitness and to provide a workout that's fun, that you're looking forward to every day, where you can also see your progression and growth through the data aspect of it as well.
Yeah, now you mentioned that the trackers will pick up like different metrics on them. So what metrics exactly are they tracking? I mean, obviously they're keeping a count of punches, but like...
Yeah, so it's going to be punch count, which is the number of punches, and we're going to give you a round by round goal you're trying to hit with the punch count. There's punch rate, which is the speed of your punch, and then there's total output, which is a combination of acceleration and power. So those are the 3 metrics that you're being tracked on. And then when you complete a FightCamp workout too, you can post your stats on the FightCamp leaderboard. So anybody who's ever done the workout before too, you can see where you stack up on the official FightCamp leaderboard too.
Okay, so it's how often you punch, how fast you punch, and how hard you punch, basically.
You got it. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. We're also tracking kick metrics now too, which is a cool new feature that we dove into. And then we got the partner workout aspect, which is very fun too for families who want to work out with one another. And we're even potentially looking into doing like full weight body tracking too, so like push-ups, sit-ups, jumping jacks, stuff like that too. So we're definitely growing here at FightCamp. We've got a lot of cool stuff in the pipeline that we're looking forward to releasing.
Which is awesome. Now, you also mentioned, you keep talking about per household, which is something that's very, very different. You know, for instance, I know with a lot of the other home apps, you know, as you can see, I'm a cyclist. So, you know, if you look at things like Zwift or Ruvi or Peloton or that type of thing, you know, I don't have a membership, but if my wife wants to track her metrics on the bike, she has to sign up and get her own account with Zwift. Otherwise, it's just going to blend all of our stats into one thing, and it's going to mess up the metrics for my power versus her power, my speed versus her speed.
Totally. Yeah. So with FightCamp, a single membership covers every house or every user in the household. So if your wife wants to get involved, your kiddos want to get involved, I mean, your cousin, your uncle wants to do it too, you can set up profiles for everybody. So everybody's covered under a single membership. Everybody can create their own profile, track their own metrics, save their own metrics, and then they can even compete and challenge against one another too. And that's what I think the cool thing about FightCamp is too. Compared to other like at-home fitness options, and even going to the gym, it's FightCamp, I would say, is very affordable, and we're very hands-on and user-friendly too. So when we started it like a mom and pop type of vibe, and I would say that we've kept that all the way through. So we like to partner with like organizations like yourself, and we really love to like give back and help out. And we just think our product speaks for itself and the content speaks for itself. And it seems like everybody's loving it. So yeah, we want to give you guys the opportunity to try us out. No strings attached, and the equipment's yours to keep. So if it's not a good fit for you, maybe gift it to a cousin, an uncle, somebody who would use it. But yeah, FightCamp, we're here to help out, give back, and we want to help people improve their physical fitness, mental health as well, and just be the best version of themselves.
Yeah. Well, again, you had sent me a package, and I just recently got everything set up because, again, I was coming off the taper from my last triathlon that I did. You know, I got everything set up. We've loaded up the app, and from what I can see, you can use it on a phone. You can use it on a tablet. I know that the console comes with an HDMI hookup to where you can plug it directly into a TV or a monitor or whatever, and get it to project up on there.
Yep.
And I'm assuming that gives you the workout.
Yep. Yeah, exactly. So all the workouts are from the FightCamp app. So you just download the app, create your own login, and each user in the household creates their own login. And then you just connect the trackers to your profile via Bluetooth. Any workout you want to do, metrics are tracked. You have full access to the FightCamp library of workouts. And then you even have access to tutorials, nutrition programs, and then expert-led paths by some of the best athletes in the world too. Like we have a Stephen Wonderboy Thompson path. We have a Tyler Minton nutrition path. So we've brought in some of the best coaches in the world in regards to boxing, kickboxing, nutrition, Muay Thai. So like we brought in the best coaches in the world, and they have their own blend on the workouts, and they have tutorials and programs too. So they'll teach you right from scratch and what they do as well to train. So it's like the best of the best. You get to do it from the comfort of your own home at your own time, and you got some of the best coaches in the world kind of helping you out. So it's a great experience, and yeah, I recommend everybody trying it out. So it's product. The product is free, the offering's free, the membership trial period is free. We're covering the shipping and the tax too. So it's zero out the door for you. You guys can try it out and see if FightCamp's the right fit for you guys.
Right. Now, for those people who don't have any type of a fitness background,
Yeah.
The idea of doing boxing could be a little bit intimidating.
Of course.
It's for a lot of people, they've never actually gotten down and thrown punches or done any type of fighting.
For sure.
Do you guys? I mean, are the directions that simple and that step by step? I mean, do they go with the basics of this is a punch?
100%. Yeah. So we have something called the FightCamp Prospect Pass. So when you download the app and you create your profile, we ask you to kind of put in some information based on your experience level, your workout goals, and what you're looking to accomplish. If you don't have a ton of experience or you're a beginner, we recommend the FightCamp Prospect Path to you. It's a 12-step chapter series that goes over the stance, how you want to have where you want to have your hands, the names of the punches, the perfect technique. So it walks you through it. So you got to graduate from the prospect path to even go into a workout too. So to be completely honest, 65% of our member base has little to no experience before joining FightCamp. So I wouldn't say that our big market is professional athletes and fighters and stuff like that. I would say it's more everyday Joes who are busy, who don't have a lot of time to work out. You got a family, you got a ton of stuff to do. So yeah, I would say that's our audience, and we have workouts and content for everyone. So kids, teens, adults, elderly. I mean, we do it all here at FightCamp.
Okay, so it's easy enough to start. Now, once you get things started, we're assuming, you've got your sensors on, you've got your hand wraps on, your sensors are in place, you've got your console hooked up to either the TV or you're Bluetoothing over to your phone or tablet.
Yep.
And you've started out. How is doing the boxing workout different from doing different than like going to the gym and lifting weights or leaving your house and going out for a quick run or something like that? What's the overall?
Yeah, no, that's a great question. So to be completely honest with you, there's a bajillion different ways to work out, right? Like you can go lift weights, you can run, you can swim. There's so many different workouts. I would say the best thing about boxing and martial arts is one, there's so many underlying, benefits of boxing and kickboxing that, I've trained since I was a little kid, but I wasn't aware of the mental health benefits. So like some of them, like just include, they help with PTSD, depression, self-esteem, confidence. So I think being able to, defend yourself and to learn a new skill and to activate different parts of your brain to learn a new skill, I think there's nothing like it. And boxing and kickboxing has been shown to be one of the best physical workouts that you can do as well. So it's not just, lifting weights. A lot of people focus on one muscle group or two muscle groups a day. Boxing is going to enhance everything. So you're using every part of your body. And that's just boxing. I mean, obviously with kickboxing, right, you're enhancing even more. So I think there's so many just physical benefits, mental benefits of FightCamp and boxing and kickboxing in general, that it's one of the fastest growing sports in the world too, and so many people are using it as an effective workout technique. So I think Fight Camp is doing a great job at providing the content, providing the tracking ability too, for a really growing workout program. So yeah, it's a great workout. Everybody can do it too, as well. So like you can do it with your kiddos. Like kiddos aren't supposed to be lifting weights at a young age, right? You don't want to stunt their growth. Kids can punch a bag and learn how to defend themselves and instill discipline, self-esteem, character. The stuff that you learn in martial arts, I feel like will impact you for the rest of your life. So I'm so glad that my parents put me in that when I was a young kid, and I wouldn't be the person I am today without martial arts in general, to be honest with you.
Yeah. Well, you mentioned being able to hit a bag.
Yeah.
Now a bag isn't required to work out with Fight Camp. You can still do it via, I think, shadow boxing?
Correct. Yeah. So you can shadow box with it. So you don't technically need the Fight Camp bag. And an even cooler thing too, if you go to a gym or you have access to a bag already, you can use the bag that you want to. So a ton of our members will use the shadow boxing with the trackers. The trackers still monitor your metrics. If you're not so interested in the boxing and kickboxing too, we have like over 500 strength and conditioning workouts on there, that you don't need the trackers for. And then we have nutrition programs and paths too that can really help you with your diet. And we even have recovery aspects too, like yoga and stuff like that as well. So
I was going to say, I noticed that you have some stretching workouts in there, which is something that I know I need more of personally. I'm really good about warm up. It's that cool down and after workout stretching that I always tend to skip on and regret it later.
Yeah, I feel like that's something that we all need to do a little bit better of. Obviously the warm up's important, but like the cool down afterwards, you definitely got to stretch. You got to make sure you don't hurt those muscles and ligaments too. So I'm a big fan of the recovery aspect of the Fight Camp app, and just being able to bring in some of those top coaches and top recovery specialists and top nutrition experts. You really learn how vital, those elements are to your overall health. So I think we're doing a good job here at Fight Camp, and we have a ton of cool features and cool workouts and recovery programs in the work too. So expect Fight Camp to be like a one-stop fitness and lifestyle app here in the near future. So we're just going to keep growing and expanding.
Which is awesome.
Yeah.
Now, when you start with Fight Camp, is this one of those, like, where you set up where you're working out on like Monday, Wednesday, Friday, or is it an everyday thing, or how do you go about scheduling it for what people are trying to do?
Yeah, that's a great question. So when you download the app and you create a profile and you go to sync your trackers, we ask you a ton of questions like, what are your workout goals? What are you trying to accomplish? How often do you work out currently? So we build programs and a structure around what you're looking to do. The whole Fight Camp element is designed around being a full body workout to help you lose body fat and build lean muscle. So when somebody is brand new and doesn't come from a big like working out background, they're completely new to fitness, I always recommend starting it slow. Like let's start with 3 times a week. I say let's start with a 15-minute beginner level workout. Let's see how your body feels, right? Because you can always do more, right? So you don't want to push yourself too far right from the get-go. You don't want to strain or hurt yourself. So I always recommend starting about 3 times a week, Monday, Wednesday, Friday. Start with a 15-minute workout. And if you're feeling good, you can always add more. And, at the end of the day, if you're like, I had a great boxing workout, I want to engage my core a little bit more, go ahead and throw on another like 10, 15-minute Fight Camp core workout and finish with that too. So, I mean, we have programs and paths for everybody and every time length too. So even if you're in a time crunch and you got 10 minutes away from the kiddos, you got a 10-minute workout at Fight Camp. If you got an hour to work out, we got you covered there too. So we got it all for our members.
Which the time element of it is huge, because as at-home dads, most of us are very, very involved in our kids' lives. There's a lot of guys out there who don't have nearly as much free time in their lives as I've finally built to. My youngest just turned 8 this past Friday.
Oh, happy birthday.
So, yeah.
Yeah.
So the end result of that now is that my kids both go to school in the morning,
Mhm.
and I've got a nice chunk of time Monday through Friday most days where they're off at school doing their thing, and I'm able to schedule in that workout and the rest of it. But it wasn't that long ago
Totally.
that, the kids, that I had at least one kid home full time, and we
Yep.
try not to think about 5 years ago when we all had everyone home all the time.
Yeah.
And it's hard to schedule in a 30-minute or a 45-minute workout on a regular basis. Whereas with the shorter 10 and 15-minute workouts, I mean, you can grab that while the kid takes a nap, or, honestly, there were always times during the day with the little ones where
Oh, yeah.
things got quiet, they took a nap or whatever, and you frenetically tried to get done everything that you could get done.
Mhm.
But I'll be the first to admit, there were also a lot of those times that I took that 10 or 15 minutes and spent it scrolling on my phone, catching up on social media,
We've all
you know,
done it. Yep.
watching YouTube or whatever else. And this certainly seems like a better way to spend that 10 or 15 minutes.
Totally.
Now,
Totally. And I think
you mentioned the gamification aspect of it.
yeah.
Which this is really intriguing to me. I'm very much not. I'm not competitive in that regard. I'm much more one of those people who believes in competing against himself.
Same. Yep.
Now, part of that is because my focus is on doing better than I did the last time. Another large aspect of that is that the only thing that I do competitively at this point in my life is I took up triathlon at
Yeah.
like 49 years, like 4 years ago,
So
and
cool.
I am not good. I will point that out. Like, I am one of the people who's there to finish the race. I don't have any delusions of standing on a podium anytime soon,
Yeah.
but the sport. And a prime example is 2 weeks ago, I did my fourth Olympic distance triathlon.
Yep.
And,
Awesome.
I didn't come in last. I was awful close, but not quite last. But more important to me was that I shaved 18 minutes off of the last Olympic distance triathlon that I had done.
That's amazing. Good for you.
Which to me was about just beating myself. But I know that there are a lot of guys out there and a lot of other people who
Yeah.
do get very competitive. Now, you mentioned leaderboards, and you mentioned, being able to compete with your family and that type of thing.
Yeah.
What I'm assuming it's based all on the same metrics that are already being collected on yourself, right?
Correct. Yeah. You got it.
Okay, and these challenges, you've got the full leaderboard. Do the members of Fight Camp have the ability to set up like their own challenges? Like, for instance, I use Garmin, and I know that like Garmin will let me set up a step challenge that I can invite just my friends to join, or let's see who could run the most miles this month.
Yeah. No, you can set that up on the FightCamp app. So we have a versus mode where you can be like, oh, I'm going to challenge my friend Brian to this workout this week, and like, let's go head to head. So yeah, you're able to do that. And I think that is a cool feature that we have. To be honest with you, a majority of our like versus mode challenges are exactly like you said. So it's people challenging themselves, but like from a workout, a couple months ago. So people are very competitive with themselves, and I think they want to see the progression and growth, especially when they put in the work. So I think that is our biggest activation right there. So a lot of our members are challenging, competing against themselves. And also I think this is a very cool opportunity because, I feel like a lot of kiddos obviously look up to their parents and they want to see what their parents are doing. And I think you running a triathlon, I think is a great thing to show your kiddo. So like, yeah, you might not be first, you might not be on the podium, but how many people have went out there and ran a triathlon and finished it? I would say that 99.9% of people on the planet haven't ran a triathlon. So I think being able to show your kiddos and being like a positive role model to them, I think is huge. And I think if kiddos see you at home, see you working out, see you participating in fight camp, they're going to want to do it too. And that's what we found out as well, is that kiddos really like using the fight camp because they kind of see it as a video game. Like as you throw throw your punches, you see these metrics pop up and you're seeing them change. And if you're going against your dad or you're going against one of your friends, you know, I think kiddos are really locked in. So instead of being on a phone, scrolling on Instagram or playing a video game, a lot of these families are reaching out to us saying, hey, fight camp has like really helped out my family. My kiddos are so engaged. They love the workouts. And then it's teaching them discipline, focus, self-esteem. They know how to defend themselves. So I think there's so many elements, not just in fight camp, but in martial arts in general, that are so important to young kiddos as well. So I think a dad setting the standard and leading the way is the best way to do it. So I'm pumped about this.
Yeah, I mean, you're definitely preaching to the choir on that one. You know, I did Shotokan, or traditional Japanese karate, when I was younger.
Yep.
Probably from about the age of, I probably figured out if I Googled what year the Karate Kid movie came out, because it was shortly after that.
That's cool.
But I started when I was around 10 or 11, and you know, competed up all the way through the end of high school and into the beginning of college before, well, you know, to be blunt, life got in the way. You know, we all had things to do, and I kind of let it go by the wayside. But I do definitely enjoy including my kids where I can. You know, my daughter is now working on her running. She took up cycling. She's determined that she's going to do a kids triathlon at some point in the coming year or two, which I'm really psyched about her doing. It's obviously much shorter distances than what they do for grown-ups. But I mean, again, it gets people going.
Yeah.
Now, I've got a heavy bag that hangs down in our basement that I've had for ages. You know, it's not one of the Fight Camp branded bags. It's actually one where we were helping a friend of ours move. And at some point in their, what do you call it, in their shed in the backyard, they had a heavy bag laying there that was brand new. I mean, I wish I could say, oh, they used it for, no, there was not, it looked like it just came out of the package.
Yeah.
It had never been hung, never been hit.
Yeah.
And it was free. So, you know, I got it for the cost of some chains and an eye bolt to sink into a beam in my basement. And that works great.
Yeah.
And I don't know if most people are aware, but kids love those.
Oh, yeah.
You know, I've got two bags downstairs. I've got the heavy bag, and then I also have something, I think they're called a reflex bag.
Yep.
The one that's on the spring where you hit it, and then you have to get out the way or it's going to smack you in the face.
Yep.
Yeah, my son absolutely loves the reflex bag. Like, he will go downstairs by himself and just go punch on the bag.
Yep.
And he'll come upstairs all like panting, and he's like, I need to get a drink. I'm like, what's going on? He's like, I'm just punching the bag.
That's so awesome. Yeah.
You know, because, again, not only is it getting them to engage in something physical, which, again, I'm not saying that all kids need more physical activity. I'm not saying that at all. And again, I'm not saying that I'm without flaw. I mean, look, I spend plenty of time myself watching TV or you know, being on social media or doing other things that aren't physically active.
Yeah.
I can't imagine how hard it would have been for me when I was a kid if I would have had anything I wanted to watch on TV available to me whenever I wanted to watch it.
100%. Yep.
You know, I mean, we didn't do anything on Saturday morning from like 8 in the morning until around noon, because around noon is when they stopped showing the cartoons and the kid shows.
Yeah.
And it transitioned into like movies and grown-up TV. And once that happened, we didn't have anything better to do. So you just left the house and got on your bike and went over to a friend's house and, you know, went out and played outside.
Totally.
If they had done cartoons until 8 o'clock at night on Saturday, I'd have fought with every fiber of my being to sit in front of that TV until 8 o'clock at night.
Totally. I mean, yeah.
So I don't blame the kids for it. But I like the idea of things that can help everybody get a bit more active. And without getting into motivations or wheres or why fors, I will be the first one to say we all get angry.
Yeah.
We all get frustrated. There's a lot of stress in the world today over a lot of different things.
Totally.
And you really can't overestimate the amount of, for lack of a better term, just release that you can get from hitting something really hard.
Totally. Yeah. There's not.
Just let it out in a safe way, obviously. Don't go beating on people. Definitely not endorsing that. But, when you have a bag and you can just let that frustration out, it really helps you get that out and prevents you from keeping all of it inside. And then all of a sudden you end up involuntarily snapping at your partner, snapping at your kids, snapping at your coworkers. We've all done it. We've all had that moment where, just last night, my wife and I were having a discussion and she said something and I had already had a really annoying day and it just rubbed me that tiny bit wrong.
Totally.
And I responded back harshly, much more harshly than I should have. And luckily, we communicate really well. And she's kind of looked at me with a smile and went, well, that was kind of harsh. And I was like, oh, I'm sorry. You didn't deserve that. It's been a day.
Yeah.
And she was like, oh, I understand. But again, I also didn't get an opportunity yesterday to work out or to run or to do anything to vent some of that frustration and energy out.
Yeah.
And this kind of thing really helps with that. It helps it a lot.
Yeah. It does. And I think too, just being able to do something from the comfort of your own home at your own time, I think it's awesome that I'm able to have a fight camp at my house too, because exactly what you said, you'll get into an argument, you won't see eye to eye with a coworker, you'll have a frustrating day. And just being able to be like, okay, I'm going to take 10 minutes and I'm going to go punch and kick this bag a couple times and get this out and feel better. It just totally changes your whole mindset and your whole day. And that's something that it's not the same riding a bike or going for a run or doing any of that. I would say this is a little bit different. And I just think that it just molds you into becoming such a disciplined, focused, happy individual.
It's more of an immediate release.
Yeah, 100%.
As somebody who spends a decent amount of time running and riding bikes and the rest of it, those are great, but that's much more of a Zen kind of thing.
Exactly.
Right? You get out there and your brain's spinning really fast, but the longer you're out there, everything kind of slows down. Whereas when you're angry or frustrated and you need to work these things out and you get to go down there and you hit that bag, that's an immediate release.
Totally.
Now, you were talking about the hand wraps earlier, so I just want to show, this is the example.
Yep.
And I'm assuming, here's the pocket that you were talking about. I'd like to be able to do that backwards, but I'm not that talented.
Hey, there you go.
It's in right there. And then this goes around.
Exactly. Yeah. So they just slide on like surgical gloves. So you don't need to be some expert boxer or martial artist and wrap your hands. These slide on like surgical gloves. They just go into the pocket. You open up the FightCamp app. You double tap them after you create your profile, and you're good to go. They start blinking and everything's tracked.
Now, I want to point out one thing that's different about these is that, and again, I've worked out with a personal trainer for years now who also comes from a boxing background.
Mm-hmm.
And before we switched over to working out virtually, because he moved from where I am in North Carolina to Texas, which makes in-person workouts really difficult.
Mm-hmm.
Before that, he figured out really quickly that I'm not good at just physical activity for the sake of activity.
Yep.
I'm not someone who enjoys repeatedly lifting a heavy bar or running on a treadmill. I mean, I have a bike trainer behind me for indoor riding on Zwift or that type of thing when it's freezing cold outside or snowing or raining or that type of thing. But honestly, I hate it.
Yeah.
I would rather be outside riding my bike in 40-degree weather, like bundled up with all of the extra thermal stuff,
Yeah.
than pedaling in front of a TV screen. It just does nothing for me.
Totally.
He figured out early on that keeping me active and actually hitting things and working on a bag was a much easier way to keep me engaged and working than just repeatedly doing push-ups or jumping jacks or sit-ups.
Totally.
And, you know, I worked with the traditional hand wraps with him. And I got to say, one thing that I like about these is that they come pre-padded.
Yep.
Because, again, barrel hitting a heavy bag hurts.
Oh, yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
it can hurt. And that little bit of padding will make a difference. And that's assuming that you don't work with a glove.
Yeah. Yeah. 100%. So all the equipment is really top of the line too. So like earlier, I shared that most of our member base is beginner. So most people don't even know how to wrap their hands, and we don't want anybody to get hurt. So we really focused on quality equipment here. So a ton of padding and the wrap, so you don't hurt your wrist, your knuckles, nothing like that. They slide on super easy, like surgical gloves. And yeah, all the equipment is considered to be top of the line. Very high quality. Everything's covered under warranty. So if you have any issues, let us know, and we'll send you new equipment on us too. And we're very, like I said, we're very hands-on. We're about the user. We're about our members. So if we can help you in any way, always feel free to reach out. And I'm here to help. You can always text me, call me, email me. And like I said, I'm your guy at FightCamp. So if we can do anything to benefit you and your family, we're here to help.
Now, one question I have is, how are you guys with integrations?
Yeah. No.
Like, for instance, I know that my Garmin has the ability for me to record all kinds of different workouts in there, including HIIT workouts and, you know, strength training and the rest of it. With this recording all the metrics, does it give you the ability to upload it to like your Garmin Connect or your Fitbit or whatever else?
Yeah, so it connects to Fitbit, Apple Watch, stuff like that. It even tracks your heart rate too. So that's a new feature that we just added to. So we're in talks with Garmin right now. Exactly what you said. So that'll be coming out in the near future too. So we have we have a ton of cool stuff.
I'm in the team Garmin, so everything has to fit into that little biosphere. Otherwise, it gets to be a real pain.
Oh, for sure. Yeah, no, I totally get it. I mean, you can just see it. Everybody is interested in their metrics, whether it's their workout metrics, their sleep metrics, their recovery metrics. I feel like we're in a phase right now about like health and wellness, and people are coming up with, you know, different shortcuts and different techniques to be the best healthy version of yourself. And we're always integrating new features and aspects at FightCamp too. So the FightCamp today won't be the same FightCamp in 2 years. Like we'll have so many cool features. So that's what I'm most excited about is the future and what we're working on currently.
Well, one thing that I do want to go ahead and point out is we've been talking about the offer that you guys have made, and you know, here's a QR code.
Yep.
So if you guys scan that QR code, it will take you to the Join Fight Camp website, where Jack and the team at Fight Camp have set up a package for us that will come out to you free of charge. It'll give you everything that you need to get started.
Yep.
And if I'm not mistaken, it sets you up with a 45-day free trial.
Yeah. Yeah. So what you get is you get our FightCamp trackers, the quick wrap. So 45-day membership trial, free shipping. Obviously there's no fees associated with it. So it's a $278 value currently. And the link that we provided you guys, all you have to do is enter your email, first and last name, address, and phone number. And we actually ship the package right to you. And then you're able to enjoy the full FightCamp experience and try us out. And then, like I said, if you like it, you can stick with us and get a membership. If you don't like it, feel free to keep the equipment, gift it to somebody. It's a very popular holiday gift. But yeah, we'd love to welcome you to Fight Camp. And if anybody has any questions or needs anything, reach out to me at Jack, JACK, at joinfightcamp.com. And I'm here to help you guys. So like, if you have questions, if you want more equipment, if you have need anything about Fight Camp, I'm your guy. So reach out to me anytime, and I'm always here to help you out.
Oh, that's great. That is great. And I will say, for those of you who know me through the network or have gotten to know me over the years, I am not the tech guru.
No.
I know how to use enough tech to get me through life in this day and age, and that's about it. I was able to get this set up in less than 20 minutes.
Yeah.
And honestly, the vast majority of that time had to do with the crappy Wi-Fi in my house. Because I would be what happened was I got everything downloaded and it was upgrading the software.
Yeah.
To the latest version for everything, and my Wi-Fi kept dropping. So I upload 68%, and then it would say upload failed, and I'd have to start back over. But that's on my house and my Wi-Fi. That's not on you guys. But once it was done, it was quick and easy to set up. The app is super easy to navigate through with little to no trouble at all.
Yeah.
And honestly, you're not exaggerating. There's enough workouts in here that you could work out with a different workout every day and spend years before you repeated something.
Oh, yeah. And we're always uploading new workouts. We upload about 20 new workouts a week. We have a ton of different trainers on there, a ton of different programs. So yeah, you're never going to run out of workouts and content. And then we wanted to make the process seamless. So we want to make it very easy, whether you have a tech background, you have no idea what you're doing. We're very we try to make it very straightforward. And then if anybody has any questions or you're having trouble with the setup, feel free to call us, email us. We're very hands-on. So we want to make sure that Fight Camp is the right fit for you and you have a really good experience. So yeah, reach out to me anytime and I'll walk you through the process if you're interested.
Absolutely. And I do want to personally thank you, Jack, because one of the things that you and Fight Camp have done that we at the network really, really appreciate is I know that you had talked about how we're setting up an affiliate program with you guys.
Yep.
Where for the people who use our link and get the equipment, if you choose to continue on with Fight Camp, and whether you move into paying month to month or whether you choose to pay yearly, there is no obligation, which is one of the things that I love. You can pay for this month, and then next month, if you know that you and the family are going on a 2-week vacation,
pause it.
You can just skip paying for that month so that you're not missing out on 2 weeks that you paid for.
Totally.
And then come right back and sign up again, and you don't lose your logins or memberships or anything like that.
Yeah.
You don't have to start over from ground zero.
Yeah.
But more importantly, for those who choose to continue on, Fight Camp's going to be donating a percentage of that back to the National At-Home Dad Network and in support of what we do and the things that we're working on, whether that's future Dad X discussions, whether that's Home Dad Chat, our podcast that we offer that comes out weekly, whether that's the Stay-at-Home Dad or the At-Home Dad Book Club. There's also some mental health support groups. There's a substance abuse or substance use support group that works on the prospect of just readjusting your relationship with substances, whether you're trying to quit completely or just cut back or get things under control. We're here to meet you where you are. But, we're all about trying to help dads be better dads, basically, and, be there for their kids in every way that we can. And keeping physically fit is one of the ways that we can do that. Now, speaking of keeping physically fit, I do want to mention we do have Home Dad Con coming up this year in San Antonio. It is going to be from September 11th to the 13th. you can go to our website, which is athomedad.org. That'll get you to where there's ticket information and all the rest of it. In addition to that, when you purchase your ticket to that, we are also doing a fundraising 5K. We're going to be running on the Riverwalk in San Antonio. It's the Dad's Run. It's the Dad's Run 5K. There's also a virtual option for those of you who can't join us. But like all of the other 5Ks out there, we design a fun little medal. Last year we were in St. Louis and we ran underneath the arch. So the medal was a silhouette of one of our board members, Kyle Denny, who is honestly the reason that this 5K happens. Is he's a dedicated runner and he worked really, really hard to make sure it happened. But we had a silhouette of Kyle running underneath the arch for the medal. This year, I'm sure we're going to do something a little bit more San Antonio and Texas themed. But I highly recommend if you're going to be in the area, if you can make your way to the area, please. Coming to Home Dad Con is a life-changing experience as an at-home dad. It really is amazing. And while there is a financial cost involved, please don't forget we have the Brian Dixon Memorial Scholarship Fund for a reason. It's out there to make sure that nobody doesn't come to the convention simply because it's a matter of finances. We have a scholarship fund that is there to help get dads there so that they too can enjoy it. Please feel free to follow us. We're on Instagram and X now, Twitter. We've got Facebook, all the rest of it. We're out there. We are a 100% volunteer-run organization. Dale Van Vliet is our volunteer coordinator. If you have an interest in volunteering with us, please email Dale. Let Dale know that you're interested in volunteering, how you think you can serve us best, what skills you bring to the table, because we can all do different things, and you'd be surprised at how many of those things are useful in ways that most of us never thought about. But please volunteer. And again, the easiest way to support our mission is by becoming a member of our organization today, which if you go to athomedad.org, there's a simple link to become a member. You can do the yearly membership. You can do an automatically renewing membership, or if you're truly moved to, there's an option for a lifetime membership that shows that kind of dedication and true belief in our mission. But we invite everybody to come and join us. And again, just to make sure everybody got a chance to catch it, this is the QR code. If you scan that QR code, it will take you directly to the offer page on the FightCamp website that will get you set up with your trackers and your console and your wrist wraps, and they'll ship them right out to you. They show up well packaged in a box, and like I said, it was less than 20 minutes from the time I opened the box until I had it set up and ready to go. With that being said, we're coming up on a little over 45 minutes, so this is usually where we kind of cut things out. I want to thank you so much for your time, Jack. I really, really do appreciate it. Is there anything you want to share here at the end with everybody?
No, Matt, honestly, man, I appreciate you. I appreciate your organization, and thank you for the time today. And like I said, FightCamp's going to be a long-lasting partner here, so we want to help you guys every step of the way. And anything that we can do to help, feel free to reach out to me, jack@joinfightcamp.com. I'm here to help out anytime, and I appreciate you and everybody with your organization, and you guys are doing great things, and we're only here to help.
Well, we can't thank you enough for the support.
Cool.
In the meantime, everybody have a good day. Get out there, be active. And again, like Jack said, we're all an example to our kiddos. So let's be a good one.
Awesome.
Everybody, y'all have a great day. Thanks.
Appreciate you guys. Have a good day.